Good morning and welcome to Sunday morning's meditation at City of Light, Atlanta. We're so glad you're with us. I'm Reverend John and I'll be taking you through this guided meditation over the next 10 minutes. So let's sit back, relax, drop your shoulders down, roll your neck around if you need to. Make sure your teeth aren't touching, your jaw is relaxed. And let's give your attention to your breath. And as we take this time to go within, and we're paying attention to how we're breathing, we are becoming fully present in the moment. It's when we're in this moment of quiet that we can hear our guidance. I always say you can't hear the voice of God if there's an argument going on in your head. So let's breathe. And know that this is the fourth week of Advent. This is the week leading up to the birth of the Christ child. And the birth of the Christ child means to us a new way of relating to ourselves, our relationship with God, our relationship with all out there. We're leaving the vengeful, angry God that was going to get even in the Old Testament. And we're going to the power of love that comes forth in the New Testament. And we know the Christ name means innocence and love. So let's go within. To access that love, that unconditional love. I'd like you to see yourself floating up above the planet, seeing all that's going on down there underneath. The people are like ants scurrying around. And from up here, you know, their anger, their grudges, whatever's going on with them is really not that important. What is important is from the universal level of love. The love you feel for all those people on the planet going through their life experiences. You know that one day they'll release it and they'll return to love. And let's breathe. That universal love that we all came in with as a baby. The love Christ is reminding us of. That it's here, it's within us. we can access it anytime. And that's when you make Christmas every day. And we remember the lessons of Jesus. They were always about loving somebody that society had turned their backs against. And if he could love and befriend the Gentile tax collector, that story is of him loving the most difficult to love person. We can do the same. Because Jesus said, the things I do, you can do too. And so if we need to, we go back to that cosmic consciousness where we're looking down at the earth with the great love of a parent. And we see all the busyness from our vantage point. And we can love them and watch them lead their lives. We watch them with a great deal of love. And we know they will return to us one day and let us wrap them in our love. Because no matter what is going on in the day-to-day life on this earth, love is the only thing that matters when we leave it. And if we can bring more love to the world, we are doing the Christed One's work here and now. And as we go forth this day, let us be like the light, the Star of Bethlehem. Let's allow that Christ light, the Christ-like behavior, the Christ-like love shine through us. And that means as we go through our day, if something happens that challenges us, instead of responding immediately, we stop and go within. And we don't respond until we have gotten the response we need through love, a loving response. And that's how we bless each situation. So as you're ready, just notice the chair underneath you. Your toes in your shoes, you can wiggle them. Move your shoulders around. And come back to the room we're in. We give thanks for this time together. And I ask that you hang around with us for about 4 more minutes, and our wonderful Sunday service will begin. City of Light, Atlanta, with the Reverend Dr. Paul Gretz. Namaste.
Good morning and welcome to City of Light. We're coming to you live from our campus located at 3125 Presidential Parkway here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a delight and a great joy to welcome you to this service. It is truly a moment of great celebration. We're celebrating the Christmas spirit, that spirit born afresh and new within our hearts and our lives. As we begin our service today, it's our tradition to share words of welcome that make sure that everyone understands our mission, our message, what we're called to do, and how we hope to unfold this calling in our lives. So would you join me with the words you find on your screen, and let's share them as we proclaim this welcoming spirit together. Welcome to City of Light. This is a place where people of like mind come together to recognize in Christ consciousness that there truly is only one power, ever present and all-knowing. We offer a positive and practical approach to a lifetime of spiritual growth. We know we are all spiritual beings having a physical experience in this world. So we celebrate our diversity, welcoming everyone in unity. And we know that how we act is the greatest expression of what we believe. So we live out our calling to be a light for the world, a light of love, truth, and understanding that is making a difference. And so it is. Let's just open up our hearts to all that God has in store for us. As Scott Dunn shares us this musical selection, Go Tell It on the Mountain. Thank you so much, Scott. Yes, we're ready to go tell it on the mountain, celebrating all the joy within our hearts and our lives of this Christmas spirit. I'd like to share with you some announcements, and as we do, let's begin by sharing the charge or the call for our Do Unto Others offering. Every Sunday, we offer the opportunity for City of Light to be a blessing to so many different programs, needs, and special occasions. And today, we're collecting for the Christmas bonus for the staff here at City of Light. I want to say that the wonderful people who work and volunteer, that work so hard to make City of Light such a great success, volunteered their time, their talents, and their treasures in so many ways. We really want to be a blessing to them this Christmas season. So we're asking you to share a very special gift to help us reach out and touch the lives of those who have worked so hard throughout this year. You may make your donation through our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. You'll find a donate button there. Or for those of you who gathered in our room today, we encourage you to offer your gifts in the basket right over here. If you feel so inclined, just offer some token of generosity and a special gift as we do unto others with this great spirit of generosity during the holiday season. Now, here's some special announcements of what's coming up. We're continuing our Tuesday night class at 7 p.m. on the basic principles of science of mind with Frederick Bales. It is this wonderful textbook that's giving us some very powerful basics for our spiritual life. I hope you'll be tuning in at 7 p.m. and catching us. Now, if you've been missing some of the classes, don't worry. You can jump in on this class and just get the insight that's being offered through chapter after chapter on how it builds greater understanding for our spiritual development in our lives. Then on Thursdays, our class now is going to be canceled just for the holidays, so there will be no class on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve on Thursday, but we'll resume in January on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, and that features the ongoing study of everyday holiness. This is a powerful book on the spiritual pathway from a Jewish tradition called Musar. It's teaching us some powerful ethics. Many people have said, wow, this has been so great. We've really enjoyed all the insights that it's offering. This should have been taught to every child, every teenager, every young adult. It should be an essential for living because it's helping us understand how we can be the best that we can be, how we can be that brilliant light that shines in the world, that light with a great sense of ethics, great sense of being the best that we can be. Hope you'll join us back in January when we resume our classes at 10 a.m. For that live streaming from the Dr. Angelo Pizzello Wisdom Center. This week, we're celebrating Christmas Eve with a special candlelight Christmas Eve service. I'm inviting each and every one of you to join us if you feel comfortable. But the most importantly, what we want to say is please be mindful of the COVID-19 restrictions. And if you are able, please stay home and view from our live streaming programming that's offered you through Facebook and through our YouTube channel. So please know that it's open, but we're asking everyone to use great wisdom because we're not wanting to pull together a crowd by any means, but just for those who really feel it's necessary, please come. Otherwise, join us through the live streaming. We're going to have a powerful service of great music, a wonderful chance to celebrate that spirit of the light being born afresh and new within our lives, and truly to celebrate what the season of Christmas is all about. So join us 7 p.m. December 24th for that candlelight service. You can join us through this live streaming through Facebook as well as our YouTube channel that's found at City of Light Atlanta. Just City of Light Atlanta. That's the YouTube channel. Now, we also want to let you know that next Sunday, December 27th, is our annual Burning Bowl service. And this is a chance when people get an opportunity to let go of the things that have been challenging them throughout 2020. And boy, you may say there's been a list. I'd like to have a whole, long drawn out list of things I'd like to bring. Well, what we want you to do is share with us that which you would like to release and let go. You can email me, or you can send a private message through Facebook to my page, letting me know of your name that we will call out as we drop pieces of paper symbolizing that which you would like to release into the fire. And as it's extinguished and burned, we are releasing and letting go of those things of mistrust, of anger, of frustration, of sense of lack, a sense of separation, guilt, shame, etc., that may be building up within us life over this course of 2020. And we want to release it and not take it into the new year of 2021. So this is a beautiful service where traditionally people have come forward having written down on a small piece of flash paper that which they'd like to release. And then touching it to the flame, it just disappears. And it's this wonderful symbolism of us each and every day releasing and letting go of those things that can hold us back from our highest and best. So if you'd like to be a participant in that service, but unable to be here live, well, what we'd like you to do is just simply reach out to me, letting me know. You don't need to share all the details of what you would like to release because the universe already knows and you know. So just let us know your name and we will release a piece of paper symbolic of that which you have been holding on to, that you say, I want to let this go. I don't want to take it with me. I don't want to carry this into the new year. I want to be set free. And so in this wonderful ritual, your name will be called out as we set to flame those things that are your challenges and releasing them to a great sense of victory. So join us then live streaming and through our YouTube channel next Sunday for this powerful service, the Burning Bowl service at 11 a.m. Also, we want to remind you that you can share your generous gifts through our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. Thank you so much for those who've been faithfully supporting the work here at City of Light. We greatly appreciate your contributions. You have been just doing an exceptional job of sharing faithfully and offering these gifts that help to sustain this ministry throughout this challenging time. And they are so appreciated. Just want to say a heartfelt thank you for your support of this work. And we want to say thank you again for checking in with us through Facebook each week, being aware of the announcements of special events, what's happening in the life and ministry of the church, whether through our compassion work or the expansion work we're doing. It's been a great year. So we want to look back next week on all of the exciting accomplishments of 2020 and give God the glory. Just celebrate. And so join us again next week. We hope to share some various different pictures and slides of all the different activities of 2020 and celebrate together all that has been accomplished, as this has been a great year of expectancy. So let us now just open up our hearts as we center ourselves for all that God has in store for us. And I mean that. God has something amazing in store for us in this moment. Do you believe it? If you do, then just give a hearty amen. Because I believe in every moment, every breath we take, God is unfolding something for our hearts and our lives. So we just want to prepare our hearts for that. Let's listen to this beautiful traditional carol presented by Scott Dunn.
Let's take this time and go into prayer. Sit back and relax and close your eyes and give your attention to your breath so that you can hear the words, so that you can take them in and hear anything else your higher self wants to tell you. I know there is a power for good in the universe, and it is ours to use. My God is my good, and my good is my God. We're each surrounded by, immersed in this good, and it is seeking to come through us so that we can be the eyes, the hands, the love of God here on the planet. There's everything we can imagine and beyond available to us for this journey. Everything we need is already inside. And so as we relax into this, we understand that we have all we should ever need. We have the abundance we need. We have the prosperity we need. We have the feeling of love we can express to bless and uplift this world. Divine intelligence is already at work within us, and it's seeking to come through us in wonderful, creative ways. We let all of this just be and know that as we listen, we'll be guided to what we need to do next. And so we let go of stress and worry of the holiday season, and we know that just being ourselves and connecting with others is all we need to do. This is a reminder of our hearts, so we have a heart-to-heart connection. It's a reminder of our love and a time to stop unnecessary busyness. So I'm grateful for this reminder, grateful to understand how the law of good works in each of our lives. And as I rest in this knowing, I let it be in my experience. And together we say, and so it is. As you're ready, we'll listen to Scott Dunn now with the Lord's Prayer.
Thank you so much, Scott. We appreciate that. Well, there was a church in San Francisco who, the day after Christmas, the pastor was out around the church grounds and looking around and noticed, wait a minute, I see the nativity scene is missing something. Well, on a closer look, the baby Jesus was missing from the nativity season that the church had put out for the Christmas season. And he began to wonder what had happened. Where was the baby Jesus? Well, all of a sudden he said, you know what, folks, we've got to get together. We've got to find the baby. We've got to find the baby. And everybody began to ask around, have you seen the baby? Do you know where the baby? Who took the baby? What happened to the baby? We've got to find the baby. Well, around the corner, there was a little boy pulling a little red wagon. And the pastor noticed something inside the red wagon. On closer examination, discovering there was the baby Jesus. Coming up to the little boy, he said, well, where did you get this little baby, my fine friend? And the boy said, I got it from the church. Oh, really? And why did you take the baby from the nativity scene? Well, he said, before Christmas, I prayed that the Lord would send me a little red wagon for Christmas. And if I got that little red wagon, I promised him I would take him for a ride. The real question is, have you found the baby Jesus? Today, we're celebrating the very spirit of Christmas. Have you found the baby has some very metaphysical and symbolic meaning for the journey of our lives in our spiritual walk? Asking that question on a day-to-day basis. Have I discovered this Christ awareness? Have I found the Christ consciousness? Has it been born anew within my heart and my life? You see, the very object of sacred writings all through time has been to convey a higher meaning and a higher knowledge by simply using some ordinary things, ordinary stories. So what we find here in the story in Matthew, we find the unfolding of this Christ child, a birth taking place, having such a deeper meaning than the literal words of a story of a simple family giving birth to a child. It has a deeper meaning for our lives. How sad it is that we have always approached Scripture from such a surface level of literalism and a shallowness of not understanding the depth of what it means for our life and the teaching it's meant to bring to our day-to-day experience. So we think quite often, Christmas is all about celebrating this birth of this wonderful man named Jesus who came to this earth. And so we sort of make it so human, and we miss out on the power and the deeper teaching, the sacredness that's intended for our lives in the message to be unfolded within our lives. And instead, we struggle with all the contradictions and absurdities we find in Bible stories when we read them literally. But when we move beyond the literalism, when we move beyond the black and white, shall we say, to go deep within, to find the metaphysical understanding, meta meaning beyond the physical, beyond the black and white, beyond the literalism, to see the teaching that those who wanted to convey to our world and to find it deep within our hearts and our lives and to experience it personally and how important that is. You see, quite often we've just looked at the surface and we've missed the spiritual depth beyond the physical that is intended for us. So we find here that the question is, are we looking for the baby? Where is the baby? Well, what is this baby? It's symbolic of this newborn awareness within our lives. The story is simply using this wonderful family, Joseph and Mary, to unfold for us a greater understanding of what's meant for us on a day-to-day basis, to birth a greater awareness, to have something rise up within us, a consciousness of the divine within our lives. It's meant to be born within our hearts and meant to be celebrated within. Yet so often all about Christmas is celebrating outside. So many of our neighbors have been putting up decorations and all kinds of creations and balloon inflated snowmen and Santa Clauses and colorful reindeer and lights going everywhere, and we think Christmas is celebrated outside. Christmas celebrated outside of the heart, outside of within. But the true essence of it happens deep within our hearts and our lives. This is where we begin, for we understand that everything from a spiritual context begins within. Some have been looking to churches, spiritual communities, various different traditions to find, wait, someone fill me with this awareness. I want to find it outside. I'm looking high, I'm looking low, I'm looking everywhere I can to find it. Someone give it to me. There are those who said, I need to go to the highest mountain and find the greatest guru, or I need to find a spiritual place, somewhere, a sacred ground. But here it is. It's always found deep within. The number one rule of all spiritual teachings is simply this: never start from the external. Always start with the purifying of the mind. Within, the heart. Go within. That's where every great revolution starts, and every great transformation starts, every great evolution starts. On goes the list. It all begins when we go deep within ourselves, versus searching here, there. Do you have it? Do you have the baby? Do you have the baby? Where's the baby? Can I find the baby? Ah, that baby, symbolic of spiritual awareness, awakening. It's within. Let us go there to find it every single day within our lives. Let me tell you, there's nothing like a newborn. There's nothing like a birth. Oh, I can tell you that firsthand. I have two lovely children, and to be there for that birthing moment was a highlight of my life. You know, the months of anticipation and expectation, the belief that now before you in this birth, you hold within your arms and caress the possibilities for this child and what it will bring to your life. And so it is the same as we understand the birth is this wonderful moment of holding within our arms the possibilities of all that is available to us as a child of God. This is the birthing, an awareness. I am living a life of great possibilities. I am living a life of the very message that Jesus brought of abundance. I am living the very life that Jesus brought for us of eternal life in joy and peace and happiness. And I'm living it right here and now. And I'm birthing that within me. For there's nothing like the birth of Christ consciousness within our hearts. What happens then is this wonderful moment of saying, I really have something called spiritual awareness. That's what it is. This moment when you're saying, wow, I guess I didn't realize that I could be very spiritually aware of God's love, aware of God's goodness, aware of God's joy, aware of the good that's always around me, in me, through me, and always for me. Today in our Advent candle, we have lit the candle of love. There is the wonderful joy of expectancy within our hearts. A candle of joy, a candle of peace, today a candle of love, all summing up what it is when we birth this Christ within us. We embrace the possibilities of immense joy, of immense peace, of immense love, and the power of expectancy at work within our lives. This is the great experience that we can have within our lives, for it's born in our consciousness, born in our awareness, born in our hearts, in our very minds, this very understanding God with us, Emmanuel. That's right. The name Emmanuel, meaning God with us, it's birthed within us. And that is a beautiful understanding to have, no matter where you're going through life, to awaken to this truth. God's with me. God's got me. I'm with this power and strength. It is flowing in me and through me. And no matter what challenge I'm facing, no matter what obstacle is coming, no matter what 2021 may bring, because 2020 brought us a lot of challenges, a lot of things and obstacles to overcome. But God is with us. And I'm fully aware of the possibilities as I birth this consciousness afresh and new within my life. We say we birthed it afresh and new. Why? Because Christmas is meant to be spent and celebrated every single day. We regulate all the Christmas joy to December 25th. We try to drag out the commercialism from September 1st until December 25th. But the real joy we want to celebrate is anticipating this wonderful day of Christmas and coming together. But yet that could be celebrated every single day. The joy, the peace, the love, the power of expectancy that Christmas is meant to be experienced every day. when we find the baby, meaning the awareness, the consciousness, when we found it and it's birthed within our lives, there is such a transformation. It is so sad that so many people go through life unaware of the power and presence of God within their life. They just go through the world, the day-to-day world of just living in the experiences of the physical, that which is given to them in sight and touch and taste and hearing, etc. They're just living from that perspective, totally unaware that they could birth within them this amazing consciousness, amazing awareness that the power and presence of God is flowing through my life right now. The infinite possibilities is in you right now. We need to birth that. Infinite possibilities. Wow. Think of how that is so transformational for our life. That we are something so much more than just this human flesh walking this planet. But we are truly spiritual beings having a physical experience. And that spiritual being is something that was, is, and will be. It is eternal. You are this eternal presence moving through this world. And you have a great purpose to be a light. And there's a power that enables you to be just that. And to live life to its fullest. Now, how important it is that we recognize this wonderful power and presence being the very love of God. To recognize, I want to birth a full consciousness. I want to birth a fresh awareness of the love that is God. For God is love, not a being trying to love, meaning God is loving, not something that's trying to love, but is love. Doesn't have to make any effort because love is what God is. And when we embrace that and birth that within our lives, wow, I birth this love consciousness in me, a fresh new, wow, that's transformational. For those who face challenges with self-acceptance, those who face challenges in the world of being able to love themselves, those who face the challenges of feeling loved and being able to love others, it all begins when we birth this awareness within our life in a fresh new way. I birth this consciousness. Love dwells within me. Love radiates within me. Love is who I am, for I am the revelation of the divine. Wow, that realization truly makes a transition within our life. For this spirit of love is what Christmas is really all about. Wait, I thought Christmas is about this wonderful shopping list. I thought Christmas was about commercialism. I thought Christmas was all about the food that we share. No, Christmas was meant and was birthed, the whole consciousness of us being aware of divine love in us, through us, around us, for us, to be demonstrated constantly. There's an old tradition of Saint Nick. It's found within the European traditions of a bishop who had a heart full of great compassion, and during the season of the winter began to look out for those who were in special need. In particular, gave gifts of support and encouragement to those who were living in poverty and those who had great challenges. On goes in the story of Saint Nick that we formed our Saint Father Christmas, and then moving on to our Santa Claus and going on into the element of commercialism that has moved us so far away, where we're now at the place where Christmas becomes a nervous, stress-filled time of saying, have I bought the right gift for someone, and did I include the return card because the return receipt, because they probably won't like it and they're going to return it anyway. You know, how do we come to this place when it's really about birthing love and doing things that are demonstrating the very love of God? Christmas is a time of great compassion, care. Christmas to be demonstrated is that the love of God is birthed in me new and fresh, that I want to be generous to those in need, and I want to reach out and touch the lives of those who are feeling and live that they must live from a sense of lack, knowing that there is abundance for them. It is there. This love is already there within you. I want to tell you this. It's not something you have to go look out for, shop for, try to find, or ask someone to give to you. You came equipped. That's right, fully equipped. That's right, you came into this world as a being that is fully equipped with everything that allows you to unfold the divine potential, that allows you to birth and to live and grow as this wonderful revelation of the divine. You came equipped with it so much because you were born and created in the image and the likeness, that the essence within you is all the divine good. You came equipped. That's a friends who were able to purchase the HGTV design home. That's right. It was up for sale. It had been given to a prize winner, and the prize winner said, "Oh, I don't really want it. What am I going to do with this HGTV home? It's been designed beautifully, but I don't want to live." And in this case, it was the home in Atlanta, in the Mandarin Towers in Buckhead. And so it was up for sale, and our good friend purchased it. Upon arrival, coming into the house, only to discover it was fully equipped. Wow. I mean, there was furniture, there were drapes, there were towels, there was everything you need. Soaps in the bathroom and toilet paper. And there was in the kitchen all the knives and plates and everything. The house was purchased fully equipped. Wow. I don't need a single thing. It's equipped. And so it is for your life. When we understand that you came into this world fully equipped and you don't need another thing, you just need to release, embrace, become aware of all that you've been equipped with. And that divine love is a powerful essence you're equipped with. So let us awaken to it. Let's birth it. Let's find the baby, this Christ consciousness. Spiritual awareness was and is in you, and this is amazing discovery. And it is our journey to awaken to this wonderful discovery, that it's born in our consciousness. So Christmas is inviting us to be born again. Well, where have we heard this before? The very teaching of Jesus, correct? Jesus saying, "Ye must be born again." What is this? But to begin afresh, start anew. How are we born again? We're born of the Spirit. And what is that Spirit? The divine essence of God's love. We're born, we're birthing, we are discovering this wonderful baby. Oh, it begins with this moment of great discovery and begins to grow and mature and go from there. But we first have to find the baby. If we're going to raise the baby, if the baby's going to grow, we first have to find and discover this awareness. We first have to give birth to it. We first have to focus and have consciousness of it. So Christmas every single year is this wonderful occasion to remember, to remind us every single day, am I birthing anew all the goodness of God? Because if I'm not, I'm missing the very essence and the power that is offered to my life. God is working in you, says Philippians 2:13, giving you the desire and the power to do what is right. God is working in you, and this is this awareness. Wow, let me birth this consciousness. When I'm facing obstacles, when I'm facing challenges, when I'm feeling a sense of loss, or feeling in some way lack or separation, or feeling in some way not well and whole, God is working in me. God is working in me. The divine power and presence is working in me. Let me birth that consciousness at all times. When we truly find the baby, what happens is that we daily awaken to this knowledge of a Christ consciousness in us. And what happens is we begin to celebrate and begin to acknowledge that there is something greater unfolding in our lives. I love this passage. Let this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. Let the thinking, let the consciousness, let the awareness that was in Jesus, who we call the Christ meaning fully aware, fully enlightened, the state of understanding and comprehension of the divine truth of God. Let this mind, the same thinking, this same pathway, this same heart and consciousness that was in Jesus be in you. And that's what Christmas is. The wonderful gift of the awareness that the same consciousness in Jesus is the same consciousness in us, and we can live and move and operate from this. For as you are awakening, you're going to begin to realize that you're not the same person you used to be. That's truly this wonderful evolution. Because once you birth this consciousness within you, I am more than this physical being. Once you birth this consciousness, I am this divine love and essence. Once you birth all that, you find a transition taking place. You're not the same person you used to be. And this is where that baby begins to grow and mature. Spiritual growth begins to happen. You begin to evolve, and the things that you used to be are now transformed as you become something greater and better, bigger and larger in spiritual understanding. This birth, metaphysically speaking, well, it actually happens in our lives through a virginal experience. A virginal experience. Wait a minute, let's look at the passage of the birth of Jesus. We find Mary's words of saying to the angel, "How can this be? I have not known a man." Because this is so obviously teaching us that the story is a metaphysical story of our spiritual life. How do we birth any kind of awareness? Because we are always looking for the man, symbolic of the physical world around us, to do it for us. I've not known a man, so how could I be this? How could I be pregnant? How could I give birth to something? I've not known something in this physical world, because we're called to leave this physical world in thought and move to the spiritual realm, the realm of the divine, the realm of God, where there's opportunities for you to know and experience in great confidence and faith the unfolding of the things not seen, that being the evidence of that which you so desire are now unfolding in your life. Do you understand this? That there is nothing physical of this world that is involved in your spiritual life. It is all from within. Again, it's all not regarding or tied up to the physical, but it begins from the spiritual perspective at all times. What happens is that baby, that Christ consciousness, that awareness, doesn't require anything of this physical world. It simply requires our going within and experiencing the divine, the spiritual truth that's there for us. Mary, the Virgin, symbolizes our spiritual intuition being awakened within us. A feeling of, shall we call it, a non-negative state, meaning I'm not negative about anything, but a feeling of being receptive and positive about all things. That virginal state is symbolic of your life when you walk into the realm of thinking from the non-negative. That's a purity, a sense of being pure, virginal, sort of that sense of beginning fresh and new like a child. When we're at this place, for the scripture refers to Mary being this young woman, young girl, virginal, pure. But it's symbolic of that intuitive state that we come to in our lives, that we may look as a state of virginity, in a sense that we are not negative about anything. Non-negative. Let's describe what non-negative would mean for our lives. Well, when we're non-negative and saying, no, it can't be, it's not possible, what are we? We're in the spirit of lettingness. Lettingness. That's right. Letting all things, allowing. We're in that spirit when we, in sense of purity, we're allowing the goodness of God to work in us and through us. We're truly letting this mind be in you that was in Christ Jesus. And that mind that's in you, well, let me tell you, your mind is like a parachute. And it's only good when it's open. You know? How good is a closed parachute for you when you're dropping 500,000 feet from the air, wherever it may be? Not so good. How good is your mind to you if it's not open? So Mary, this virginal spirit that we're called to live from, calls us to have an open mind. That's right. The spirit of lettingness. Let's let God speak to us. Let's let the Spirit of God lead and guide us. Let's truly let all these things unfold within our lives. That virginal essence of Mary also speaks of a complete trust. A complete trust when she says, "Behold, the handmaiden of the Lord, let it be done unto me according to your will." That is speaking of us coming to the place of Spirit of God, whatever it may be, let it be done unto me according to God's divine will. I allow, I trust in a complete essence for God to work within me. This virginal essence is also described for us in our lives as having a willing, no reservations, no hesitation, but a willingness. Are you willing to let the divine power and presence of God work through you in such a way that you're not clouding up the very spiritual pipeline with doubts and fears and questions of this physical world, but you're saying, I am letting God flow through me, in me. Let this power and presence now do in me what is necessary as these virginal concepts now rise within us for us to be able to birth a new Christ awareness. And lastly, what we find within this context of Mary's outlook, a virginal purity, is that there's an absence of negative resistance. An absence of negative resistance. Negative rationalizing sometimes causes the soul to become, we're going over and over again resistant to the things of God. And we begin to always look from the negative perspectives in life. Instead of saying, I see an upcoming year, 2021, full of possibilities. I am seeing the unfolding of God's goodness in every opportunity, in every way in this upcoming year. I am seeing it because I am not putting up any kind of resistance to the divine flow, to that which God desires to do in my life. I resist nothing. I surrender. I am in the spirit of lettingness with complete trust and a willingness. This kind of purity is not so much, shall we say, a virtuous as a non-negative. And when one is non-negative, is completely trusting in this spiritual intuition. Here's what I'm saying. This non-negative means there's no negativity. There's no sense of resistance. It is then that which creates this beautiful purity. Not so much virtuous, but it's that, shall we say, in our physical realm, but sending a purity of the heart and of the soul for God to impart within us the seed that brings forth a birth of greater awareness of the divine power of God. So, what we want to understand is that this birth also is very personal, and it happens to you. You cannot live from the birthing of God's awareness from your pastor, from a spiritual guru, from your mother, from your father, from your dear friends, from your spouse or partner. You can't rely on something as the birthing and awareness from someone else. It must happen within you. It has to happen in your heart and in your life. When it does, let me tell you this. When you've truly given birth to Christ awareness, this awareness of the all good, it's there to stay. It's there to stay. This is the beauty of Christmas in our lives. So I'm asking you today, have you found the baby? Not a physical baby, not a baby in a manger, but the baby that symbolizes a birth within your life of Christ consciousness. Is it born within you, symbolizing a greater awareness? Have you let this love then that is born within you permeate your life and flow from you, in you, around you? Have you awakened to what is, what was, and what will be? And that's the divine presence, ever with you, never leaving nor forsaking you. This is Christmas. This is the joy of this season. And it is meant to be not reserved for only one day, December 25th, but to be lived out each and every day of our life. We need to talk Christmas in January and Christmas in February. We need to speak of Christmas in July and speak of Christmas in September. On goes the list that we are celebrating this wonderful essence, Christ, born afresh and anew in me. Amen. Thank you so much. It is our joy to open up our hearts now to the opportunity of sharing in generosity for the work and ministry of God here through City of Light. I want to say again, thank you so much for your contributions. Your tithes and donations have made all the difference, and I so appreciate your faithfulness and generosity in giving. Would you join with me in this affirmation of celebration that we share together that really proclaims the goodness of God at work within our life and our belief in the power of abundance? City of Light is a thriving community that is experiencing the abundance of God. We are growing and flourishing because we believe and practice the teaching of spiritual truth. And as we give and receive, we join now in the divine flow. We know that all we share with life returns to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. If you'd like to make your donation, you can do so by going to our website at www.cityoflightatlanta.com. You'll find a donate button there. For those of you gathered in our auditorium, if you'd like to make your donation and place it in a basket, it's greatly appreciated as well. God bless you. Let's just share in generosity as Scott Dunn offers this offertory. Thank you so much. I want to just let you know that I'm praying that this Christmas season is very special for you. I know that there's a lot of obstacles to celebrating a traditional Christmas. This year, we've not had the opportunities of a musical or Christmas parties or all the caroling and opportunities to go out and really mingle and gather even as family and community. But I pray that this Christmas, you are celebrating it by birthing a consciousness, a fresh awareness within your heart and life that will carry you through the days ahead, that will strengthen you, that will enable you to live out a consciousness that is flourishing and growing throughout the upcoming year of 2021 and beyond. As we close our service, it's our tradition to sing this chorus, yes, in affirmative. There is peace on earth. And yes, it begins in me. And I want to invite you to birth this awareness of peace, of love, of joy, of great expectancy, of all that we've talked about through this Advent journey, that it begins within us. Let's birth it right now. Join with me as we sing it. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. Every step I take, yes, this is my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Would you pray with me? This we know to be our truth, that the divine presence of God has never left us nor forsaken us. And that presence is moving in and through our lives right now. For we awaken to it. We birth it. And we claim right now for each and every one that as this day unfolds and we draw near to the celebration of Christmas, oh, that the expectancy of joy and love and peace and hope begins to unfold within us to a greater level, because we know it's found within. And we birth it in a new and fresh way each and every day. We give consciousness and awareness to it that God is at work in me right now. And I am so much more than this physical being. I am a spiritual being living out my life to the fullest, fully aware of infinite possibilities in my life and flowing through me. And with great gratitude, now we release this proclamation, this declaration, this full realization of what God is in our life. And we do so as together we say, and so it is. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, we want to remind you that next Sunday is our Burning Bowl service. So if you would like to have something shared on a simple piece of paper that's released into the flames to be removed or released from our lives, well, please reach out and let me know. You can email me at revtpaul@aol.com or private message me through Facebook, or just reach out for a phone call, whatever it may be. Most importantly, what we'd like to know is that you are participating with this service. We don't need to know the particulars of what you're releasing. That's between you and the universe. The universe already knows. But we just want to know that you are interested in participating, and your name will be called out as we release a piece of paper on your behalf on that service, releasing it into the flames of this burning bowl. And of course, we're going to look forward to seeing you celebrate Christmas Eve with us, December 24th at 7 p.m. with great music, just really capturing the joy of this great season of birthing anew this awareness within our life. So we look forward to you connecting with us through these wonderful opportunities for continued spiritual growth. God bless you. I know that a great week is unfolding for you. I've already been claiming it and praying for you and with you about the goodness of God unfolding for you this week in a particular way. God bless you. I'll see you next week.